Namaste children. This is Jyoti Devgan from the Department of Social Science, and today I am going to teach you chapter number 7 of Geography, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. Now we all have learnt that early human beings, they depended entirely upon nature for food, clothing and shelter. But with time, they learned new skills to grow food, build homes and develop better means of transport and communication. Now by and by, people started settling, and that was known as settlements. Settlements are places where people build their own homes, and site is a place where a building or a settlement it develops. Now talking about settlement, there are two kinds of settlement, the permanent kind and the temporary kind. In the permanent kind of settlements, they build homes at one place, whereas in temporary settlement, they only live there for a short period of time. So automatically, there are no permanent houses. Then talking about the kinds of settlement, it can be divided into two, urban as well as rural. In urban areas, people have jobs, they go to their offices, etc. But in rural areas, their main mode of earning is agriculture, fishing and forestry. The rural settlement can be of two kinds again. It can be compact in nature or scattered in nature. A compact settlement is a closely built area of dwelling wherever they find flat land. And in a scattered kind of a development or dwelling, the houses are far off from each other, especially in the hilly areas. Now coming over to the means of transport. Transport is the means by which people travel from one place to another. Not only people, even goods are travelled or sent from one place to another. With the invention of wheel, transport became easier. If you remember earlier, the donkeys were used, the mules were used, camels, bullock carts, etc. for transportation. Earlier, the traders took the land route or sea route for transportation from one place to another. Now, it takes 6 to 8 hours to travel from India to Europe. The four major means of transport are roadways, railways, waterways and airways. Now talking about the roadways. Now generally what happens, we prefer a comfortable way of traveling. What else but our own four-wheelers, two-wheelers? So the most commonly used means of transport for short distances are roads. They can be metalled road, or you may call them pakka road, or unmetalled road, that is the kacha roads. The plains have a dense network of the roads. They have also been built in terrains like deserts, forests and even the hilly areas or the high mountains. Manali-Leh highway in the Himalayan mountains is one of the highest roadways in the world. Roads built underground are called subways or underpaths. And you must have also noticed the flyovers. The flyovers are built over the raised structure. Now switching over to the railways. The railways are the fastest means of land transport and can carry heavy and bulky materials over a long distance. The railways carry people over long distances quickly and economically. The invention of steam engine and the Industrial Revolution actually helped in the speedy development of the rail transport. Diesel and electric engine have largely replaced the steam engines. Now, superfast trains have been introduced to make travelling faster and easier. Indian Railways network is the largest in Asia. Not only this, you must have heard about the Trans-Siberian Railway, which is the longest railway system connecting St. Petersburg in West Russia to Vladivostok on the Pacific coast. Now coming over to the waterways. Now, waterways are the cheapest means of transport for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distances. There are mainly two types of routes. One is the inland waterways and sea routes. The navigable rivers and lakes are used as inland waterways, and the sea routes are connected through ports. Some of the important ports of the world are Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York, Los Angeles in North America, Rio de Janeiro in South America, Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, London and Rotterdam in Europe. Now coming over to the airways, the fastest and the most expensive means of transport. Although it is the fastest means of transport, it was developed in the 20th century. It is the most expensive due to the high cost of the fuel. Air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather like fog, storms, etc. You must have heard that some of the flights they get cancelled due to bad weather. It is the only mode of transport to reach the remote and distant areas in a very short time. Helicopters are extremely useful in most inaccessible areas and in times of calamities. You must have noticed helicopters dropping food for the people who have been affected by floods, famines, or even an earthquake. Some of the important airports are Delhi, Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt, and Cairo in Egypt. Now, talking about the communication. Communication meaning when you send messages. Now, communication is the process of conveying messages to others. With the development of technology, humans have now made fast and new modes of communication. The advancement in the field of communication has brought about an information revolution in the whole world. Different modes of communication are used to provide information, to educate, as well as to entertain. Through newspapers, radios, television, we can communicate with a large number of people, and that is why this is called mass media. The satellites have made communication even faster. Satellites have helped in oil exploration, survey of forest, underground water, mineral wealth, weather forecast, and disaster warnings. They give in advance so that the people are prepared. Now we can send electronic mails also, that is the emails, through internet. Wireless telephonic communications through cell phones have become very popular these days. Internet provides us the worldwide information and interaction, but it also has made our lives more comfortable. Now, during this pandemic session, you all know how helpful has internet been as far as students are concerned. Now, we can reserve tickets also, whether it is for going by air or to cinemas. Everything can be done while sitting at home. So, that's all in this chapter, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication.